Hello, and I welcome you to our first lesson in our online SBA external report system development training using Excel, VBA, and Microsoft Word. In this tutorial or this lesson, we are going to learn how to design our student information list. With the student information list, we are going to gather the information about the people, their date of birth, their admission dates, and their attendance. Also, we also gather their other particulars, which includes the session or the house that the person or the child belongs to, then the class and others. So let's move straight to our Excel app or Excel software. So we are going to launch our software, Excel software. So if you are using Windows 8 or Windows, we search for Excel at the start button. At the start button, then you launch it. For me, I'm using 2013 Excel 2013. So if you have any other version of Excel, you can use it. So I'm launching the software. You click blank workbook. Now this is the Excel that we are going to use. So first of all, we need to give the project a name. So let's save it. So you go to File, then you go to Save. File, then Save. Then where are we going to save it? We want to save it. Okay, I've created a folder for the tutorial, so I will save it in this folder. If you have your own folder, you create your own folder, or you browse the folder and save it there. So let me click on this. Then I give it a name. So which name am I going to give it? So SBA training template. You too can give your own name, then you save. So we have now saved we have now given our system or our file a name. Now we are going to design the student information list. So you first go to the tab, the sheet 1 tab, then we rename it. So you right click on the tab, then select rename, then you give it a name. So we are going to give it a name as student info list. So you can also give your preferred name. Now let's go to the actual sheet. Moreover, you can give it a color. So you still right click and select tab color, then any color that you prefer you select. Now let's move to the sheet. We are going to create a field or columns for our list. So the first column will have ID as the heading, as the student ID. So you can simply say ID or student ID. Then the name of students. The name of the student will also come. Then you go to the class or the form, class or form. Then the house or section. So let me use section. Then the number on row. Then you go to the dates of birth, then the dates of admission. Then move forward to the term we are working on, then you go to the gender, then we move to the child's attendance. So let me shorten it to make it TT for short. Then the last one is total, the overall total attendance for the term, total ATT, total attendance. Sorry. So this is the field, or this is the heading of the columns that we are going to use for the student information list. So we need to adjust the field, but before that we need to give the sheet a title or a heading. So we are going to insert another column above the headings here, so that we give the sheet a name. So this sheet will be given student information list as the name. So let's go straight and insert the column or the row. Sorry, yes, inserting a row. So either you right click on any active cell or any cell that you right click, or you go to the ribbon and select insert. So you can select insert from here. You click on the small arrow down here, then you click on insert row, insert sheet row. So the moment you click on it, it will insert the row above the active cell. Then we are going to name the sheet, or we are going to give a title to the sheet. So you select the whole row to the end of where you input the headings. Then you merge and center. Merging and center means we are going to make the whole area as one cell. Then any item that, or any value that we enter, it will be at the center. You center it. So you have merge and center, then you enter the value. So we are using student information, student information list. Good. So we have it. Now we are going to adjust the headings. So you can leave the ID or you can adjust it. Then the name, you open it wider. So this is how you adjust a cell. You send your cursor to the column headings, where the alphabets are. You see, then you send your mouse cursor in between two headings or two columns. So let's say B and C. You send your cursor in between B and C. The moment you send your cursor in between the B and the C, with any of the two alphabets, the cursor will change to a plus sign. Then you left click and drag to where you want your columns to be, or how wide you want your columns to be. So you want it to be like this, then you widen it. So this is how we are going to adjust the whole columns. So there's number on row, you can leave it like, but the date of birth, you do some settings on it to make it wider. Then the admission date, the same thing, wider. Then attendance, total attendance. Okay, now we are going to do something we call wrap test, so that the items will wrap itself. So we are going to select the whole heading, excluding the student information list. Then you select here, then you click on wrap test. So wrap test is found here. Anytime you select the home tab, the home menu tab, the wrap test is there. You just click on it, it will wrap the test for you. Then you align them center. This alignment, align center. Then you suspend it a little. That's middle align. You suspend it a little, so that you see how nice it will be. Now after that, we are going to do some little settings. So let's select let's select the birth, the date of birth, by clicking the whole column. You are setting the whole column, so you are going to click F. So click F, the F, that is the whole column. Then you come and select from this side where you see general, you select it, Then we are going to enter date. So we want longer date, where you can see the day will appear, the day, the month, the and the year. So the long date, we select it. Then we do the same thing to date of admission, longer date or long date, you select it. Good. So we are through with that. Then we want it to be in a sheet form. So we are going to do something called all border. And don't forget, this is a tutorial lesson or a template. So we will not design it for too many people. We are going to design it for 10 people. So for 10 people, when you number it, it will be up to 12. So you are going to highlight from this side to the 12th row. After highlighting, then you go to the top area here where you see front ribbon. Then just above the front ribbon, you have the border, the bottom border. Then you just click on the small arrow here. Then you go and select all border or all borders. Then it will just do this for you. Now we need to make some designs. You can add colors. You can deepen or bolden the text and others. So let's try to add colors. So let's select the heading and increase the size a little to, let's say, 16. Then you bolden it. Sorry. Then we are going to add some text. So you go to this side. This is the fill color, where the color will be filled behind the text. Then this is the text color, the font color. So let's try and change the color. We select the small arrow here. Then which color do we want? Okay, let's select this color, blue. Then the font color, we select white. Good, this is nice. Then you can also give colors to any of the columns here or the headings here. So let's try and do something to the ID. So select the whole ID column. Then you give it a color. Let's say let's use this. Then the font will be white. So you can do the same thing to other columns. So let's try to continue with our design of the student information list. Now I want the headings of the columns to be bolded. So I will select the whole column, then click on bold to bolden it. I can try to let me try to increase the size a bit. Then I continue on from there. Now, okay, let me shorten this ATT. That is the attendance. So, and also I want everything that I enter in these cells also to be in bold. So I'll select the entire cells, entire empty cells here. Then I'll click on bold. We are configuring the system so that anything that we enter will be to our preference. So anything you enter will be in bold. Now, number one row is equal for all the students, because number one row of a class, let's say you are dealing with class 4, the number of row will affect all the class. So we need to merge this whole area so that it will be in one row, not in different row, but a full column. So we are going to select this area, then you click and drag. You click the center of this cell, then you drag, you left click and drag. Then you go to this area, there's a small arrow here, you click on it, then you select any of these. So which one do you want? When you click on merge and center, it will merge the cells, alright, but any item that you enter, it will be found at the center of the column. Then merge across also is there, then merge cells is there, then the unmerged cells. So we are going to use the merge cell. So So click on the merge cell. Then you can adjust the alignment to be vertical align, then center align. Okay, so we have done that, but we need to enter some formulas here. The reason why I want us to enter some formulas here is that I want us, anytime we enter a student's name here, the normal row will automatically record that person. So let's take, for example, the first person is John Appiah. That's the first person. So if the formula is inputted, the moment you enter, you click on enter, the number will start to record. So we are going to enter a formula here. So this is the formula. You click on equal sign, then you type counter, COUNTA, count A or counter. Then you bring your brackets. Then we are going to count from the reduced range of cells, that is from the first person to the last person. So these are the cells you are going to enter. So as I said, we are dealing with 10 students as our sample. So the first cell is what? Is B3. So you can click on it and to make the selection for, or you can input it manually. Then after that, you go to the formula bar, click on it so that the cursor will be at the end here. Then you click on the column, then you come and access or look at the last person, the cells for the last person. So our last person, it will be B12. Then you enter B12, then you click on, or you close the bracket, then hit on enter. Now you see that because we have entered one person here, the normal row has been counted. So let's take, for instance, let's try to enter another person. Roots, Deborah. Then you hit on enter. You see that it has counted another person. So anytime you enter a value here, the normal row will count, so that at the end of your input you able to know the number of people you have entered. So that is how the number row or the counter function works here. Now let's move to this side. We are still designing the student information list. So this side too, we need to merge it because it will take one value throughout. So total can merge and center, or you can just merge cells, then you adjust it. Good. So this is the student information list. So you can still add some designs to your preference. So let me try to make it a little bit unique and attractive. Good. So let me do this something here. I'm still designing, so you can choose your own colors, you can choose your own your preference, how you want your design to be. So you can choose it. So this is how the student information list should be. So anytime you can enter the values here. Then so let's try to complete the first person. So the class is, let's say, basic 4. Then section, let's say which section should I use? Let's say red, section red. Then normal row. Then date of birth. So with date of birth, because we selected the long date, anytime you're entering the long date, you should bring the month first. So the month is December, then the day is 1st, then the year is 1970. Then you see I've calculated it. Then the date of admission is September 1st 2020. Then the date of admission or admission date is there. Then term 1, then the gender is female. With this, as we move on, we'll be using combo box, something called combo box. So in the overview, I explain to you what combo box is. So for the meantime, let's try to enter the name here, but later on we'll be using combo box for the gender, and I will teach you how to use combo box in our subsequent videos. Then attendance is how many times the person came to school. Let's say 50 times. Then the whole total attendance for the term was 60. So that's how the student information list works. Okay, I'll end here and continue at that time. And in our next video, we are going to learn how to design our subject sheets.